supposed to stay in place until that flag is retired.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Garry Stadium. Another Friday night football matchup for you this evening. The Falcons at 1-5 come in to take on the Mitchell Marauders, who are even at 1-5, getting a big overtime win last week, the first of the season, against the Sierra Stallions. And that in overtime, 35-28. Barry Reed, along with Walt Johnson and the Media Production Services crew for Colorado Springs School District 11. Wherever you're tuning in, be it the social media pages or the TV channels for District 11, we thank you for tuning in. There you get a look at the Mitchell sideline. Little bit different set of practices this week after a win, partner.
Yes, indeed.
And talking with Corey Anderson about that win last week, they had to come back from 2 touchdowns down to send it to overtime.
Yeah.
And gave up a couple big plays, but also got a couple big plays. And got into the win column for the first time. Falcons, on the other hand, suffered the loss to Harrison, 41-17. And that game was over a little earlier than it seemed. 2 touchdowns by Falcon in the fourth quarter. The kick comes down from Beatty. It is fielded about the 13-yard line, returned across the 30, close to the 35. And that's where the Marauders will start. See if they spot it. We expect the spot to be about the 34-yard line. See if they give them the 35, and they will. Macy Davenport, the second, in at quarterback, third quarterback used by Corey Anderson this year. Lost the starter, Philip Tillotson, to injury, and then went to the sophomore before moving on to Macy Davenport. Scott Edwards. Edwards still suited up, but they'll use him in different ways tonight. Swing pass out into the flat is complete, spinning his way for a gain of 5 out to the 40. And that is going to be Dominic Trujillo for the Marauders. Macy Davenport last week in the win threw for 145 passing yards, but also had 258 of his own on the ground. So this running attack for Mitchell finally getting underway. Big help on that offensive line. They got Roman Evangelista back from an injury. This gives straight up the middle. And that is Osvaldo Sanchez, the 5'9" sophomore, getting out close to the first down. Now they'll respot the ball just shy of the 44-yard line. 3rd and 1 for the Marauders. Give it straight up the middle. And the teeth of that Falcon defense, that's going to be a yard loss, setting up a 4th and 2. That defensive front for the Falcons, Carter, 6'2", 200-pound junior. Jonathan Lozano, 6'2", 260-pound sophomore. Kai Ambrose, the 5'11", 185-pound junior. And Josiah Aldinger, the 6'2", 165-pound sophomore, doing a great job of making it tough on that Mitchell running game on that play.
I thought Corey Anderson was going to go for it on 4th down and like about 2 or 3 there. But he had cooler heads prevailed, and he sent the punting team out. And
flag is out.
Illegal substitution.
Illegal substitution.
That means 12 of them broke the huddle, partner.
That is going to make it a little easier decision. Hopefully there's not a fake called, as many of us saw last night in that professional team that wears orange and blue.
Yeah, we will. Unless we talk about that today.
Yeah, I heard you. Trujillo with the kick. The punt is muffed. but it bounces right up into the hands of the returner. And that is Dave Manning, the sophomore. So Manning catches a break with a favorable bounce.
Or did he get
They will
lucky?
spot him at the 34-yard line.
How many times have you ever seen a football just bounce straight back up? Very rarely. He got lucky on that one. And the Falcon will take over here. But the first thing I noticed tonight when I walked into the stadium was those nice new uniforms that the Mitchell Marauders are wearing in honor of military appreciation. Tonight is military appreciation night in addition to homecoming for the Falcons, for the Marauders.
Three-man front, under center. That is Ponce. Give it around the left-hand side, and the track meet is underway. This is Demarius McFarland. McFarland had an 80-yarder last week in the loss, but we have a flag on the field. Came in late.
Got a couple of
If it stands, it'll go for 66 yards and the touchdown, but we'll have to sort out the flags.
It'll all depend on. Well, they're pointing backwards, so that's not good for Falcon, I don't think.
We'll see how far downfield, whatever the infraction might have been.
And here's the call.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Block in the back. Offense. That penalty is declined. Holding. Offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
So the holding foul, the block in the back took place at the Mitchell 35. The holding took place at the 45 of Falcon.
And
so the penalty will mark off from there. We'll set the ball at the 35. Call it a gain of 1.
Yeah, first and 9. By the way, partner, the best team on the field tonight. Your referee is Nate Watman. The umpire is Mike Sharp. The linesman, Dave Kroll. The line judge is Craig Robinson. And the back judge is Ethan Pace.
And the ball on the ground. Ponce unable to get the handoff cleanly. That is going to cost the Falcons a yard.
And the 6th man on that crew tonight, keeping track of 40 and 25-second clock, is Mr. Bob Pace.
Camry Williams, the 5'7" junior, was the man to take that handoff, but trouble on the handoff between Francisco Ponce and Williams. Williams back in there. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Throw it out here in the flat. That is complete. And good coverage. Ball on the ground again. The pass was complete for the Falcons to Colton Minish, the 6,285-pound receiver. But when he got tackled, he gave up the ball. Good pursuit, good tackling by the Marauders. That'll go for a loss of 2.
Brings up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, he was trying to put a stiff arm out there, and the ball rolled around in his arm, and then when the contact came, it jarred it loose. But again, the Falcons got lucky because he was able to jump right back on it.
Tight end to the right, I formation. Handoff to the left-hand side, and a big hole, squirting through it. Making one final cut, Camry Williams, and Williams is in for the touchdown.
And this time I don't see
this one will go 68 yards. So the first one taken away due to the multiple penalties, but Williams cashes in from 67 for the touchdown. And with 8:44 to go in the first quarter, the Falcons on top, 6-0.
And that was just simply a basic run play that in everybody's playbook. Just got good blocking on it, and extra point is up and good. Just got good blocking on it and was able to take it into the end zone.
And the extra point up and good. So Falcon leads after one possession, 7-0.
And I think the Falcons have their best 2 plays were running plays, and I'd be surprised if they don't come out in their next series and see if Mitchell's going to make the necessary adjustments to stop that running game from being so proficient.
So not exactly what Mitchell had in mind for keeping up the momentum of the big win in overtime last week. But they find themselves down 7. Again, they were down by 2 touchdowns in that win last week. Came from behind to force the overtime.
Yep.
And then got the win.
And that's what you got to hold your head on tonight, knowing that, hey, we've been down before, no big deal. We know how to hang in there and play.
Both these teams just 1-5 on the year. But now that we're into league play, Mitchell is 1-0, Falcon is 0-1. But nobody's really running away with this in the non-league schedule except for Harrison at 5-1.
Yeah, Harrison's going to be a problem for a lot of people this year, even though they lost a lot of talent from that team that smoked everybody last year.
Well, they've got Al Mello as their coach. This one bobbled and picked up finally and brought up the right-hand side across the 25.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Mello. He knows a little something about football. he's seen a game or two. And congratulations to Coach Mello, by the way. He's also the athletic director at Harrison now. Good on him.
Ball spotted at the 27, and that is where Mitchell will start possession number 2.
See how the Marauders respond on offense here, partner, because you want to have some kind of an answer, even if it's not a scoring drive. Show them that you've got something to show them offensively. Let's see how that works out in this series.
3 receivers to the left, lone man in the backfield. This snap is high and just fallen on back there by Sanchez. But that is not the way to start it. This is going to take him inside the 15. It'll be a loss all the way back to the 14, so a loss of 13 on first down. Make it 2nd and 23.
Now, I watched these teams practice. One of the things they practice is the center snap. And I don't see one go over the quarterback's head. Get into a game, and then all of a sudden they start going over the head.
Two by two is the formation. This is a quarterback keeper for Davenport. Davenport trying to get to the outside, and he is going to be ushered to the ground there. Jeremiah Hall, the 5'7" senior. And there's a flag on the ground at the 21-yard line.
That's probably not going to be good for Mitchell. Yeah, the preliminary signal was holding. Now they want to see if Falcon wants to take it. They're going to decline it.
Block in the back on the offense, number 8. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Yeah, that's the right move. You want to give a team an extra down, and they're already in negative territory anyway. Actually, double chain territory. And double chains means that there's 20 or more yards for a first down. So you don't want to give them an extra down to pick up that yardage. Make them do it on 3rd down, and hopefully get a punt out of it.
It'll be a gain of 1 by Davenport. So now Mitchell facing a 3rd and 12. They need the 37 for the first down. 3 receivers to the right. Throw it out into the flat. This one too high for Trujillo. In coverage out there was Strider Sarter, the 6'2" junior. And now we are come down to 4th down and 22. Trujillo will drop back to punt. Heels on his 2-yard line.
A bad snap on first down hurt them as far as getting anything going on this offensive series, and now you hope to get a good punt out of this.
Dave Manning, the sophomore, standing at the Mitchell 45. Short kick. Fortunately takes a Mitchell bounce, but it will be down at the Mitchell 43-yard line. So you're only going to turn 28 yards on the kick. And Falcon is set up with a 7-0 lead at the Mitchell 43-yard line for their second possession.
I'll be interested to see what the offensive coaches for Falcon will do with this series, partner, because I ran the ball effectively twice in that first series. I think I'm going to run it a couple times here in first and second down just to see if that Mitchell defense can stand up to the run.
Travion Flournoy, the 6'3", 325-pound senior, right in the middle of that defense. This is a little delay on the left-hand side. Landon Jones, the junior, 5'10", with the carry. He'll get down to the 37. It'll be a gain of 6 and bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, quarterback rolled out to the left, was hoping that the defense would flow to its right. Give it to the fullback going up the middle, but Mitchell did a good job of recognizing it.
McFarland, the lone back, or deep in the eye. Give it to him on the left-hand side, following his blockers. Slips one tackle with a little swim, trying to break another, but he'll be brought down inside the 20. They'll spot him at the 17-yard line.
It's like Travion Flournoy on that tackle out there, and two quick running plays.
Gain of 20 by McFarland, who had the long 60-plus yard touchdown wiped out by penalty on the first drive. But he gives the Falcons a first down.
Positive yards on 2 running plays. Let's see what they do on this one. Oh boy.
And Mitchell jumps across. A free 5 for Falcon. Talking with Corey Gardner.
Still first
Corey
down.
Anderson before the game, and I asked him, what are they going to do that Sierra didn't do last week for you? And he goes, well, they're not going to make the mistakes that Sierra did that helped us out last week.
Yeah. And they
Sierra
did
turning the ball over quite a few times in that loss to Mitchell.
I was going to ask you if Senator Gardner was here.
Tight end to the left, power I formation. Give it to the first man through, the fullback, and he'll dive his way inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Trujillo on the tackle. Dominic Trujillo, the senior outside linebacker. Bring up 2nd and 1 as the gain is 9. Landon Jones, the fullback. McFarland deep in the eye. It'll be a quarterback keeper for Ponce. Ponce finds a seam and more into the end zone from 8 yards out. And Falcon is up by the score of 13-0 with 5:05 left to go here in quarter number 1.
Well, if you go to the chalkboard and draw it up, this is not the start you're looking for, that's for sure.
Two possessions, 2 scores for the Falcons. Snap gets away on the extra point, and drugged down is the holder.
I think that's Cameron Williams holding out there. Ball slipped off his hands, and break for the Marauders as the extra point is missed.
Tackle for the Marauders by one of the Marauders. The jersey number doesn't match the program, and I don't see it on your program either, so can't credit the Marauder with the tackle there.
Yeah,
but a good play hustling.
We'll go down at halftime, talk to Al Everett, and see if we can get a name.
Actually, that might be Jaden English, the 5'8" junior.
Big offensive series coming up for the Marauders, partner.
Cannot let this one get away.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know it's the first quarter, and I don't want to over-exaggerate how important this drive is. But you can't let a team get too far ahead. Takes you out of your game plan, makes you do things that you're not comfortable doing. So you want to avoid all those kind of circumstances. Let's see if the Marauders can do it.
The Marauders have given up 50 points in 4 of the 5 losses in the non-league schedule. And the one loss that they didn't get 50, the County Hornets got 48. Swarmed under and brought down on the return at the 37-yard line. That is Sanchez for the Marauders with the return.
Well, that works because at least you start out in pretty good field position at the 32. It looks like. I'm sorry, I thought it was 37 too. 32-yard line.
Mitchell started its first drive without a first down, looking for their first down. They started the first drive at the 35. This is the second best starting field position for them. Give the handoff, bouncing a tackle, breaking tackles. That is Marcus Ford into the ball game at tailback. Ford, the transfer in earlier in the year, missed a couple of games due to the transfer. Now eligible. And
don't get me started, please.
2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Ford in the backfield with Davenport. Fake it to Ford, keep it around the right for Davenport. Cuts it up, cuts it back across, cuts into the open field, has a blocker downfield. And he will be chased down by one of the defensive linemen, but not until he's to the 39-yard line. It is a run of 25 for Davenport and the Mitchell first down. Josiah Aldinger, the 6'2 sophomore, giving chase and getting him down at the 39 of the Falcons.
And that's just good vision, partner, because he wanted to go to his right. He saw that was bottled up. Then he was able to turn around and come back to the center of the field, and then a lot of things started opening up for him, including the blocking.
So give it to Ford off the right-hand side. Ford will be dropped there by Strider Sarter, the junior linebacker. Gain of 2 on the play down to the 37. But you can see, especially if they can keep the exchange between Ford and Davenport, Ford the bigger runner than Sanchez, a chance to get that RPO going and create some things offensively.
And right now they're running to the right. It looks like what the Falcon defense is giving them is the right side as opposed to the left.
2 right, 2 left receivers wise. Roll Davenport out, and he's just going to throw this one over the head and out of bounds.
Not the worst thing he could have done on that play. That's a good play actually, because that was covered pretty well. And you don't want to force that ball in there. A lot of things can happen: interceptions, tips, to name a few. So good job of taking care of the football on that one.
Sierra had a pick 6 against the Marauders in the second half of that game last week that the Marauders had to come back and win. Davenport under center, empties the flat, get it to Sanchez. Sanchez cuts back to the middle of the field, but he will be met by a host of Falcons, including Strider Sarter getting up a little gimpy there. Ball down to the 34. It'll be 4th and 3. And the offense staying on the field for Corey Anderson as they're down by 2 scorers.
Well, and I also think that because the ball's at the 32-yard line, it's also a good call here because a punt's not going to gain you much, and a field goal is certainly out of the question from this range.
Sanchez stays in at tailback. He's offset. And the keeper and Davenport is going to get swarmed under. Ready for that one were the Falcons. Sterling Canoe, the 5'9", 190-pound senior there. He and Sarter teaming up on the tackle. So Mitchell turns it over on downs, but showing a little bit of life on that last drive, moving the ball.
And that's something that you needed. I'm looking down on the field, partner, and I don't think that's Rob Namnoon, but I'm thinking, I'll take a little closer look. That might be our buddy Rob Namnoon down there.
2:42 to go. Give it to the right-hand side, fullback give. That is Jones. And Jones will power his way ahead for 8 out to the 40.
Marauders think they got the football, partner. Oh, we have a hurt Falcon player.
Well, we've got a hurt Marauder down there on the
too.
field at the 41.
I think I see a Falcon player down. No, that's a Marauder. I'm sorry.
Well, no, there's a Falcon player down too.
Okay, I thought I saw a Falcon player down there.
But there was a Marauder having trouble getting out from under the pile.
The old eyes ain't bad as I thought they were. First time I looked, I thought I saw him. I thought I saw a Falcon on the ground. You know, one of the things that last fourth down play shows you, partner, is when you get the film and you start scouting your opponent, it looked like they were ready for that play. And one of the things you have to do to be an effective football team or effective team, period, is scout yourself and find out what your tendencies are and then try to break those tendencies every chance you get, because other teams are looking at the film and they know what you like to do on fourth down and say 3 in that situation. You got to throw a little monkey wrench at them every once in a while.
Good news for Falcon. That was Landon Jones, the fullback, got up and walked off under his own power after some extended time on the ground. 2nd and 3 as we get ready to go back to action. Marauders with the 3-man front. Given the backfield, nice hesitation, then finding his seam and running out to the 48-yard line. That is McFarland with the first down.
Yeah, you got to tackle better than that, though, partner. A couple of arm tackles there that he just broke. Got to hit for that first down.
McFarland there reminding me a lot of the former Steeler running back, now the Jets running back, Le'Veon Bell. The way his start, stop, shift, start and stop there, not near the speed that Bell hits it, but showing Bell's patience, waiting for a hole to open up.
Speaking of those Jets, how about my Jets beating up on them old Cowboys this past Sunday?
This is a McFarland through a hole on the left-hand side, turning it right back up the middle, and he'll be inside the 30-yard line, down to the 28-yard line.
And that was just a straight burst of speed there, partner. He got through that first line of defense, and he just turned on the jet then and just took off down the field.
Gain of 24 and a first down for Falcon. So Falcon on their 3rd drive. They've scored from 68 and from 8. 1:26 left to go here in the quarter, and the Falcons are looking for their 3rd score.
Getting very close to what I call the green zone.
Ponce under center with 2 tight ends. This time throw it out into the flats. Wide open man. Slide stepping Trujillo. Ball on the ground, picked up by the Marauders.
Are they going to give it to him now? Here's the question.
They're going to, they're going to give it to the Marauders. Colton Minich was the receiver, made the move, but the Marauders were able to strip him at the 18-yard line. So good play by the Marauders defense, coming up huge. Now let's see if the offense can respond. McMinnis had the first down, but then the fumble.
That was a good play by the defense because they went for that ball as they were trying to also make the tackle, and they were able to get that ball out of there.
So Mitchell takes over at the 17-yard line.
Falcons late getting onto the field.
3 receivers to the right-hand side. Throw it out to Trujillo with some blockers. Dominic Trujillo out near the 30-yard line, and he fumbled. Was it recovered by the Falcons?
I think it was. I didn't see a Mitchell player over there.
And there is the official signal. So Trujillo looking for extra yardage, picked up 13 on the play, but then got stripped at the end of it.
Yeah,
so Falcon takes over at the 32 of the Marauders following the fumble. And what a great momentum play that would have been for the Marauders if they'd hang on, get the first down, and start that drive.
Yeah, that would have been huge.
This time give it on a little inside reverse. Big hole open, blocking downfield for Nolan Favreau. And Favreau will be inside or close to the 10-yard line. Gain of 22. They'll spot at the 9, make it a gain of 23. for Nolan Favreau on the little receiver reverse.
They fooled the defense, starting everything going to the right, their right, and then went right back to the left-hand side, and Falcons are in business now at the 9-yard line.
First and goal. The deep man is Williams for the Falcons. He'll get the ball and go to the right, break a tackle in the backfield, now cut back to the middle, spinning his way, and now the rugby scrum and getting pushed towards the goal line, and he will be stopped at the 1. So a gain of 8 after all that action for Williams and the Falcons.
He ran about 30 yards in order to get 8, and let's see. Oh, I thought the referee was coming over to talk to Corey Anderson and the Mitchell coaching staff or something.
Now, it used to be illegal to push your man towards the end zone in all leagues, but that rule was changed a couple of years ago, and that is the horn ending the first quarter. We will swap ends of the field, and when we start the second quarter, the Falcons will have it. Second and goal from the Mitchell 1-yard line.
And you remember what the name for that new rule is, right? The Bush push. When Reggie Bush pushed Matt Leinart into the end zone at Notre Dame, the referees did not call that penalty on that day. USC scored the touchdown that actually won the game. And ever since then, it was called the Bush push when that happens. And after it became legal, boy, I'll tell you what, everybody does it now.
Watching the Broncos a couple weeks ago in that game, Dalton Reisner, the big guard from Kansas State, picked up Philip Lindsay and threw him into the end zone. So the two Colorado kids for the Broncos getting them a touchdown.
Yeah, speaking of the Broncos, they got to do something about that offensive line, boy, I tell you that. Offensive line is...
I think a lot of that was play calling. I blame the lack of flexibility in play calling on the offensive coordinator, Rich Gangarello.
Yeah, you got to call that too, because a lot of it was, I called that from my couch, and if I could do that, you know what that means.
Back to live action, Williams deep in the eye. Give it to him off the left-hand side.
He's in.
And he will walk in, so they didn't give it to Williams, they gave it to the first man through. Good bit of ball fake there. I couldn't tell if that was Jones back in there at the fullback or not.
See if they go for
but
2.
4 seconds gone in the second quarter, and the Falcons on top by the score of 19-0.
And they're going to kick the point here, and I think I agree with this. A lot of people might think you want to go for 2 to make up for that one you missed before, but I'm not a big proponent of going for 2 until you have to. And at this point in the game, I would get every point I could get. Get the team set up here. See if we can.
Austin Beatty on to do the extra point kicking. The miss after the second touchdown was a bad snap. Good snap here, the place down.
Good kick.
And Beatty is right down Broadway with it. So 22-0 here, just underway in the second quarter. Falcon on top, putting a damper on this Mitchell homecoming and military appreciation night.
One of the things that you know about things like homecoming, retiring a jersey, recognizing the Hall of Fame inductee, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you get so hung up in the festivities, and you can't help it, you're human, that you forget about you got to play a football game. And you come out and you come out a little flat. And of course, the visiting team, who frankly could care less about all of that stuff, they're focused and they're ready to go. Might be a little bit of what you're seeing right now.
Well, when you look at the teams these teams played and their RPI ranking, the slightly tougher schedule went to Falcon. They had 2 common opponents, Pueblo Central and Lutheran. Both teams lost to those 2 teams. But Falcon beat Cheyenne Mountain 22-19. Cheyenne Mountain, a 4A team. gathered in and waiting for the blocking on the return out to the 37, 38-yard line for the Marauders. So a return of 15. And with it for the Marauders, that was Demetrius Biglow on the return.
Those will start on their 38-yard line. Pretty good starting field position.
So Mitchell took over on downs, Falcon fumbled, and then Mitchell returned the favor on the next play after gaining a first down. And that led to the short field for Falcon. And Jones capping it from 31 yards, or from 1 yard after a 32-yard drive. Out into the flat, complete to Sanchez. And Sanchez will be ahead for a gain of 4 to the 42-yard line, bringing up a 2nd and 6.
Or Corey Anderson, I think, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think he's telling his quarterback he had the receiver open deeper if you had looked at the deep receiver as opposed to the short guy. But still a gain of 5, so no problem. Gain of 4, excuse me.
3 receivers to the left. Josiah Whitaker, lone man to the right. Give off to Sanchez, and ball on the ground. Blowing that up was Kai Ambrose, the 5'10", 185-pound junior, getting great penetration, and it's one of those, he almost took the handoff.
Yeah, if you don't block them, a lot of bad things will happen. And on that one, it's a loss of 4 yards, so he lost the yards they picked up on that first down.
Bring up 3rd and 10. Corey Anderson calls a timeout here to talk to his offense. First timeout of the ball game comes at 10:44 in the second quarter.
You got to make some adjustments now if you're Corey Anderson, and he will.
Cruz Garcia, the 3rd back that will rotate into this Mitchell backfield as they have running back by committee. But Osvaldo Sanchez was the one that got blown up on that last play.
Get your blocking assignment straight, and let's see what happens now as Corey Anderson looks at his play sheet and walks back over to the sideline.
Zamora and Trujillo split to the left. Joshua Walker to the right. Ford in the backfield now.
Blitz might be coming.
Here comes the extra man for Falcon, throwing the seam pass for Trujillo. And Trujillo broke in front of the 2 defenders and was unable to come into us. As Davenport threw that just a little bit to the inside for the protection factor. Austin Beatty and Zach Regenator had the coverage.
I mean, he just missed that one by a step.
Check that was Bradley Ross, the junior, in coverage on that far side. But didn't look like that pass had much chance until late when Trujillo broke from the double coverage. Trujillo on with the kick. This one bounces away. The question is, did he touch it? Back to pick it up and getting swarmed under at the 14-yard line. That was Manning fielding that. Dave Manning almost with a huge mistake for the Falcons. But that costs the Falcons about 15 yards worth of field position, and they will start from inside the 14-yard line.
There's another break for the Marauders. Let's see if they can capitalize on it by making Falcons start deep in their own territory.
Week 7 football action from Gary Berry Stadium on the District 11 channels. Double tight end jumbo formation to the left. Second man through, breaks it out. And here he goes again.
Foot race.
This is McFarland. And McFarland brought down at the 30-yard line. Chased down there by the Marauders. I think that was Darius Ford on the tackle, saving the touchdown. McFarland went for 80 last week in the fourth quarter against Harrison. And showing a burst of speed there. That play goes for 56 yards.
One of those plays where you line up all your big guys and you say, okay, here we come, stop us if you can. And everybody's so tight to the line of scrimmage that if you do break through that line, there's a lot of green grass ahead of you.
You thought with McFarland's speed, if it wasn't for Ford and his speed, that one's in the end zone. This is McFarland to the left-hand side. Bouncing off a tackle, finally gets swarmed under. Getting off the pile, bottom of the pile is Christian Zamora, the safety. 5'9", 145 pounds. Sanchez was there with an assist. Pickup of 4 down to the 26-yard line. Bring up 2nd and 6. 9:16 to go here before the half. And Falcon looking to add another touchdown lead here. Trying to run Mitchell out here in the first half. And timeout called by Falcon. 9:01 on the clock, and Falcon wants to talk about it on a 2nd and 6 deep in Mitchell territory.
Must have saw something the way Mitchell lined up on defense that he didn't like, or changed his mind about the play he wanted to run. It was not a bad timeout for the Falcons, just to make sure that they knew what they were going to do on this particular play. The second down and 6, I believe it is.
Last week against the Harrison defense, the team rushed for 276 yards, did Falcon. They are on pace for that and more here in the first half against the Marauders. The combination of Robinette and Pence went 8 for 21 with a touchdown and 3 interceptions throwing the ball against Harrison last week. So I imagine, as we have seen tonight, the passing game's been pretty much put away. And they have found the holes in this Mitchell defense, and they are just going to keep it on the ground.
Well, I'm a firm believer in the until you stop it, I'm going to give it to you theory. So we got to come up with a way to stop this.
2nd and 6. Punts under center with a bootleg rollout. Breaks the tackle as the pass he wanted was not there. Picks up a block downfield, and he'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. Gain of 20 on the scramble. And it will be 1st and goal again for Falcon inside the Mitchell 10-yard line.
Yeah, they actually marked it at the 6, partner, and it was a good decision by him not to throw that football. He saw a lot of green grass out there too, so he figured his legs would get it just as quick as his arm would.
High formation for Falcon. Second man through and getting tripped up was McFarland. McFarland pickup of 3 down to the 3-yard line. High formation off the right-hand side, and stopped at the goal line was McFarland. Shane Maniak, the junior, 5'6", 150, in at the fullback position.
We'll see if Falcon goes to the quarterback sneak like Andy Reid did last night and got old Pat Mahomes' kneecap dislocated. Good news for him, though, is he'll be back in a couple of weeks. I should say 4 weeks.
Following his blocking right up the middle, Darius McFarland for touchdown number 2 on the night. Or check that, McFarland with his first score of the night. But a 1-yard touchdown run capping off an 86-yard drive. And with 7:28 to go before halftime, it is 26-0 with the Beatty extra point up and good. 27-0 now.
Well, we got 7:28 left in the second quarter here, partner. And certainly time for the Marauders to do something positive here in the second quarter, get themselves back into this football game.
Small crowd from Falcon making the 15 or 16 mile trip in from the Eastern Plains, but the ones that are here are enjoying it live. And for those of you who might be out there watching it on the TV channels, Comcast Channel 16, Falcon Broadband Channel 73, or CenturyLink 8004, or our YouTube or Facebook feeds bringing you tonight's game live. We thank you so much for the tune in. And if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you like and subscribe. District 11. Get notifications of our upcoming broadcasts.
Have those Spartans next week, won't we? Those Doherty
Next
Spartans?
week we have Legend coming in to visit Doherty next Friday night. Beatty's kickoff, short wobbler. Sanchez fields it at the 21. And he'll bring it out to the 33-yard line. So a return of 12 for Sanchez. But complete and total domination by this Falcons team.
At this point, you're
Partner.
absolutely right. Neither the Mitchell offensive line or defensive lines have established anything yet, and Falcons taking advantage of it. Give them credit.
Falcon trailed at Harrison last week 28-3 at half before getting 2 fourth quarter touchdowns. Now fake it to Sanchez, and this is the keeper and room to run all the way out to the 44 or 43-yard lines where they're going to spot him. That is right at the yard to gain marker, gain of 10 for Davenport.
And
They're going to give him the first down.
Yeah. Left foot, right foot thing, and they gave him the left foot, so able to get ahead for a first down. Let's see, well, they're spotting that ball though, partner. I would say that should have been about an inch or so short. So I think they misspotted the ball.
2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Sanchez in the backfield. This time give it to him, and he is going to get blown up in the backfield once again. Kai Ambrose
again,
beating his man at the line. That's going to be a loss of 3 all the way back inside the 40-yard line.
It's about the second or third time that Ambrose has found himself in that Marauder backfield blowing up a play.
Adding to his tackle for loss total with 2 here tonight in the first half.
We got to find a way to block that guy. That's not going to be good.
Quentin Elmore, the 5'8", 235-pound freshman, trying to guard him, and this is the quarterback keeper and the run by Davenport. Davenport will get out to the 46, call it a gain of 7. And that'll make it 3rd and 7 for the Marauders. I kind of like the looks of Macy Davenport II
At quarterback?
At quarterback. He reminds me a lot of some of those old Air Force Academy option quarterbacks.
Yes, good point.
2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Keeper for Davenport. Nice block picked up by Ford. Now a late pass floated out there intended for Bigelow.
We got a late flag.
And now we have got a late flag on the play.
Might be against Falcon too.
And I think that Corey Anderson is talking to Davenport on the sideline saying, keep that thing and get what you can out of it. The decision late to throw. He saw the defender coming off of Bigelow and tried to float it, but I think at that point Bigelow was disconnected and not expecting that pass.
I agree.
Illegal forward pass. It was beyond the own line of scrimmage. Number 2.
So
5 yards from the spot of the foul. Loss of down.
Lost it down.
Fourth down.
So that makes it 4th down and 11 back at the 42-yard line.
So no decision at all for the Falcon coaching staff because they lose the down and they
back them up
a couple of yards.
Trujillo on to do the punting now.
Good eagle eye by the officials there because I didn't notice he was across the line and the line marker's right here in front of me. Ooh, yeah, I guess he did get there.
Trujillo gets it away. Fans below us want a foul on roughing the kicker, at least running into the kicker. On the return is Favreau.
That ball's on the ground.
Favreau fumbles it on the far side at the 45 of the Marauders. No indication on the recovery yet.
Yeah, Mitchell's not jumping around, so I think it's going to be Falcon ball. And still no indication from the officials. They're talking about it down
right
there.
In front of the Falcon bench, so you know the Falcon coaching staff.
Oh, they're getting a little help.
By rule, Falcon ball, first down.
Yeah, they're going to give it to the Falcons. You know that Falcon coaching staff gave them all the help they needed on that.
Return to the Mitchell 44-yard line, so that is where Falcon will start. .5:23 and counting. Give it to McFarland. McFarland with some room to the left. Ford out there to make the tackle and knocks him out of bounds at the 16-yard line. But not before a gain of 38.
Sideline became an extra defender, and he was able to push him out of bounds.
McFarland, good speed, but I wouldn't call him really a home run hitter with breakaway speed.
No, he's not, because and you've seen a couple of times where Marauders have run him down, or he had an angle on him and actually were able to make the tackle. We got a timeout here by the Marauders, where the defense was able to get an angle on him and make a tackle. Your breakaway runners, your fast runners, you got an angle on them, they still can run past you, but he's very quick when he makes a decision and he gets upfield, so that's his benefit. That's what's separating him right now. And right now the Marauder defense needs to come up with a big stop on them, because if they punch this in right now, we're probably looking at an early evening.
Falcon won the toss and deferred, giving Mitchell the ball first. So a score here and then a score on that opening drive of the third quarter could put us into what we don't want to have, and that is running clock here on homecoming night for the Marauders.
Exactly. Huge series here for the defense. Let's see if they can get it done.
Deep man is Williams this time. Late handoff inside.
Oh, that was a beautiful play.
And that is going to be an easy walk-in touchdown for Jacob Cross, the 5'9", 145-pound senior, installed at the fullback position there. So Cross scores from 16.
Now, part of that was just a beautiful play that the Falcons just ran. They sent everybody right, like they were going to run the ball on the right-hand side, and then they snuck him back coming across the middle and the left and handed him the ball going back through. That's just a smart play. It's a good play.
The holder is Pitts. Beatty with the extra point attempt, up and good. 5:10 to go here in the second quarter. And Falcon is on top, 34-0 over the Mitchell Marauders.
Well, you got a stunned Marauder team, I think, because I don't think anybody coming into the night thought this. I thought we had two pretty evenly matched teams. Not good teams, not great teams, but two evenly matched teams.
Falcon only 65 points on the entire year through the first 6 ball games. They have 34 on the board tonight, and we have got 5 minutes until halftime. So Mitchell has got to be very careful here and get some offensive production running this clock out to the halftime at least.
I didn't think the Falcons were going to be able to generate this kind of offense, but give them credit. They've taken advantage of every mistake that Mitchell's made on defense tonight.
Well, Falcon opened up with a 34-7 loss to Pueblo Central, who is number 17 in the RPI.
Yeah.
Then they lost to Air Academy, a 4A team who sits at 21 in the RPI. Then they beat 4A Cheyenne Mountain, who's 37, before losing to Lutheran out of Parker 40-7. That same Lutheran team beat Mitchell 73-0 2 weeks ago. And this return across the 35-yard line, ball comes out, hits the ground, but they're going to signal it down. And the Marauders keep possession of the ball. And looks like Jaden English with the return for the Marauders, or at least he got off the ground with the ball. They'll start at the 37.
Let's see what Corey Anderson and his offensive staff dial up now, partner, on this. Running has been pretty effective for the Marauders tonight, although nothing's been terribly effective, but they've been able to run a little bit. So we'll see if they come out and run the ball. Falcons got a defender coming on late, too.
That is Cole Pitts, the outside linebacker. Falcon runs a 2-5-4 defense. And a late throw over the middle. Beatty makes the tackle for the Falcons. It'll be a gain of 5. Now 6 as they spot it. With the catch for the Marauders, that was Joshua Whitaker, the 6-foot senior. Just did a little curl out there, 6 yards deep.
Kind of like those uniforms, partner. I haven't talked about that much tonight. The military-style uniform that the
blue Air Force
Marauders
camouflage.
Being an old Air Force guy myself, I kind of like the color.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ford in the backfield. Throwing the home run ball down the left-hand side, and that's got to be pass interference. There is the flag. Throwing it for Christian Zamora, the sophomore. And all over him in the coverage back there. That'll be flagged on Jeremiah Hall, the 5'7" senior. Hall last week had an interception, but there he commits the pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. 15-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
It'll be a first down for the Marauders as we move the chains. Unfortunately, unlike the NFL rule, it's not a spot foul.
Right. And not even an automatic first down. Had that been a first and 25 play, the Marauders would be 2nd and 10 right now. So a lot of that, I think, I get the yardage thing, but they should make it an automatic first down.
Spotted at the 42 of Falcon, out to Trujillo, just off his fingertips, just a tad bit high. And incomplete, unable to make that connection. Dave Manning, the sophomore, in the area to stop him if he'd have made the catch. 3 receivers spread to the right, Zamora to the left, 3 by 1 the formation for the Marauders. Rolling out this way and throwing for Zamora down the sideline. That's got to be another pass interference, and there it is. Bradley Ross, the 5'8" junior, the guilty party this time, got beat by Zamora. This will be 15 more and a first down for the Marauders.
Pass interference.
Ball down to the
Defense
27.
number 24. 15-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
The penalty yardage resulted in the first down, but like I was saying earlier, that one should hurt the defense more than if it was 1st and 20. Then it would be 2nd and 5. Give them an automatic first down on a penalty like that. If you don't give them the yardage, I can get that. But make that automatic. Make that hurt.
Zamora lines up to the left again. Bring Ford in motion, reset him to the right. This time they're going to roll out to the right, and too much penetration led there by the man that's been in there, Kai Ambrose, all night long. I think the Marauders were trying to set up a screen, and something broke down on the backside because Ambrose and company were on top of him too quick, and Davenport unable to get it away.
Yeah,
it'll be a loss of 6, and 2nd and 16 from the 34-yard line.
Yeah, you're going to try to set up a screen, though. If you roll that way, you got to get that guy blocked so he doesn't have a free run to your quarterback.
Same formation. This time, give it to Ford around the right-hand side. Ford finds a seam, cuts it back to the middle, still on his feet. Lost the ball momentarily, had to regather it in, and it cost him any momentum. But he'll carry it inside the 10-yard line. That'll be a gain of 24 on the play. And it'll bring up a 1st and goal situation for the Marauders. So a nice drive here, starting with 5:10. In just 2 minutes, the Marauders have moved downfield. And timeout called by Falcon. That is their 2nd. Chris Waka, the 2nd-year head coach for the Falcons. Finally, his team being challenged a little bit after they give up a couple big plays on 1st downs on pass interferences. And now Mitchell hits a sizable running play.
Yeah, Chris Walker was real talkative with us tonight. I'm being facetious when I say that. Say, Coach, what's the key to the game? Well, block and tackle. That's about what we got out of him tonight.
Big game for Falcon. After tonight, they get Canyon City and Sierra and Sand Creek. They are looking to improve their number 8 standing in the RPI with wins and try to make a late push for the playoffs in the 4A. Sanchez out in the flat. That pass comes in a little bit high. It's incomplete. And it will be 2nd and goal from just inside the 10. And I like Corey Anderson, but I'm not a big fan of that particular play call.
Yeah.
There were 4 Falcons sitting there waiting for that play.
Yeah. And that goes back to that scouting thing I was talking about earlier. The Falcon coaches know what they would like to run in this situation down here. So you've got to give them the look that they think you're going to run that play, but find some other play that you can run off of that.
2 receivers left, 2 receivers right for the Marauders now. Davenport waves Zamora out to the left a little bit farther. Send Sanchez that way. They're going to throw the flag route for Trujillo. Trujillo had a hard time getting separation from Beatty, the defender, on him. And Davenport just has to wisely throw it away and live to fight another day. 3rd down and goal from inside the 10.
I thought if he held on to that ball just one more tick, he might have had something open there.
Ford into the backfield now for the Marauders. Zamora and Trujillo split to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Ford will reset to the left. Roll out this time.
Good block.
Nice cut inside by Davenport. He'll get inside the 5, but it will be 4th and goal for the Marauders from the 4-yard line. 2:48 and counting here before halftime. Corey Anderson does have a timeout if he wants a little more.
He's going to kick.
Trujillo has the tee in hand, looking for a place to spot it. 2:26 and counting, 34-0 in favor of Falcon.
This is a get some points on the scoreboard so you guys can feel good about themselves move. Not sure.
Oscar Gallardo, the senior, is on to do the kicking.
Delay of game.
And whistle stop the play.
Offense.
Delay against
5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Not happy.
Well, Corey Anderson wanted a flag on Jeremiah Hall coming off that edge after the whistle blown, still getting into his kicker, And now a flag flies. This is probably going to be on the Mitchell bench.
Yeah, oh, he is hot. Corey Anderson is not happy. Yeah, he's letting the referee know about it too right now.
So they will go from a 4th and goal at the 6.
The Mitchell coach is trying to keep him contained. Keep him
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. The Mitchell coach, 15-yard penalty, still 4th down.
I think they got to go for it now, partner. I don't know if this field goal, if the length of this field goal is going to dictate that they go for it.
So penalties will march the Marauders all the way out to the 26-yard line. It would be a 43-yard attempt.
They're going to try it.
For Gallardo.
He's going to give it a shot.
2:06 on the clock. The clock is stopped. 4th and 26.
Don't know what this kid's leg is like, but we're going to see here in a second.
Ball spotted at the 32. The kick is up, and it's going to be just short. Just under the crossbar for Gallardo. So the penalties there hurting the Marauders. First it was the delay of game, and then the unsportsmanlike on the sideline. So now the Falcons will take over. 2:02 on the clock, leading 34-0. Let's see what they decide to do. Here coming up before the half, they will take over at the 20-yard line.
I just noticed that offensive line for Falcon. They got a few.
They got some big ones down there.
Yeah, they got a few earthworms movers down there.
Give it into the middle, and the Marauders hold. It'll be a loss of about half a yard. Travion Flournoy and Quentin Elmore in there in the middle of that line. K-John Smith, the inside linebacker for the Marauders, wreaking havoc as well. 2nd and 20, or 2nd and 11 now. 1:23 on the clock. Falcons in the eye with double tight.
That play was almost a disaster. He lost that football coming out of the center snap.
Gain of 1 on the carry. That was Zach Regeniter.
Under a minute
Gain
now.
of 2, so bring up 3rd and 9. And the Marauders with no timeouts, or with just 1 timeout left, letting this clock run inside of 45 seconds. This may be the last play of the first half. 2 receivers to the right for Falcon. Under center, pitch it out. This is McFarland breaking a couple tackles. Mitchell keeping him inbounds. He'll be across the 30. That'll be a first down. Clock stops till they reset the chains at 31 seconds.
I'd be surprised if they want to play here because you're getting the ball to start the second half.
With the clock stopped for moving the chains, I think they're going to have to.
They have to run a play because the play clock is now at 25. And you got 27 seconds left in the half. So got to run one more play.
Falcons staying very conservative here with the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, they're getting the ball to start the second half. That's probably why. You might have, nice play.
Launch under center, and Flournoy blows that one up. Great penetration into the backfield. And he will blow it up on Shane Manick as the horn blows for halftime. Complete domination, the only way to describe it for Falcon. 34-0. They will get the opening, or the third quarter kickoff here. But between then and now, the homecoming festivities for the Marauders. Walt and I will take a quick break, and we'll be back for the second half. We invite you to come back and join us for the final half here at Gary Berry Stadium.
Sacurio. And Orlando Cisneros, escorted by his parents, Orlando and Rachel Cisneros. Our sophomore court, Elizabeth Taylor, escorted by her dad, Adam Taylor. And Cruz Garcia, escorted by football coach Corey Anderson and his teacher, Ace Tufu. Junior court, Tiajane Scott, escorted by her mom and dad, Monica Settle and Edward Scott. And Herman Perez, escorted by Jasmine Grajeda. And now your senior homecoming court. Angel Christensen, escorted by her grandfather, Steve Shamber, and brother, J.J. Sanders. Justin Jackson, escorted by his friends Ember Sawyer and Shemaiah Tucker. Olivia Daniels, escorted by her father, John Burgess, and her brother, Gabe Burgess. Caleb Moreau, escorted by Justin Haram. Jakaya Scott, escorted by her friend Mimi and Daria Robinson. Annalise Cook, escorted by her mother, Maria Cook. And Celio Meneres, escorted by Chief Figueroa. Crowning your 2019 Homecoming King and Queen is Mitchell's 2018 Homecoming Queen, Burgess Tolliver. Justin Jackson and Jakiah Scott, congratulations.
My favorite part of being a school counselor is just working with the students, right? I get to, as the Avid counselor and coordinator, I get to work with students who have a lot of barriers and maybe aren't represented in college atmosphere. So it's the best of the best. They're very determined. They want to go to college. They want to succeed. They have a lot of things that are holding them back that maybe they don't have any control over. So I show up every day to work with them and be a part of their lives. School counselors, I think, really help give us, allow them to stabilize at school and give them the support they need to know they can keep moving forward and to take those next steps. Or just to have somebody to talk to be like, this is a struggle of mine and I don't know what my next steps are. I don't know my own strengths to be able to move forward.
I want to thank Ms. Renton for believing in me, for being more than a counselor, but for also being a friend. For allowing me to strive and for reminding me every day that I'm capable of more than what the world tells me that I'm capable of and what I think I'm capable of.
I think the most important thing was how much she's prepared me for, going to college and being able to start to chase my dreams and, work towards these things that I want to accomplish. She's put in a lot of work and a lot of extra time for me, and it's greatly appreciated.
Our Avid program is fairly new. It's about 5 years old, but it is providing a systemic change to how we work with students as our demographics change in our school and in our district. And so really providing a program and a support structure for these students to have their culture recognized, right? Have their family dynamics recognized in the classroom. Having an elective class for them to go to that's like a home base where they can find positive peers that are working towards the same goals as them is monumental and life-changing for these kids.
The Avid program is so top-notch. It's excellent. All 3 years I've been in it, I've had super supportive teachers that know what they're talking about and they know how to get you, the student, where you want to go. And I really don't think I would have been able to accomplish as much as I can without this program.
With the MLO passing, right, and being able to solidify another counselor on a department team, there's so much gratefulness to our taxpayers for passing that because that's allowed us to really get deeper into the work of closing achievement gaps for our underrepresented students, to making sure more students have completed the FAFSA so that they can access a college education, whether that's 4-year, 2-year trade, community college. Working on making sure that those barriers that students are coming across as they enter their freshman year, which is a very hard year of high school, make sure that kids have the support that they need in a counselor and an intervention team so that they can be successful, and be able to move forward.
I believe school counselors are important because they do a lot more than what's in their job description. They become your motivation. They become they become people that you look forward to talking to. They become the people that in 10 years down the line, they become the people that you look to and say, I'm here because of they were in my life.
What sets Colorado Springs School District 11 apart from other districts? Some say it is our dedicated and talented staff who are devoted to the education and learning of our students. Some say it's because D11 achieves excellence through diversity, or because we serve the unique needs of all. We know we dare to empower all students to profoundly impact our world. But what does any of this have to do with our brand? We believe our district's brand is what other people say about us when we're not around. Our brand is the perceptions we own, what our audience expects from us, and what they think we've delivered. It contains who we are and what we're becoming, and reflects our values and our ideals. And if we are to influence those perceptions, we need to be intentional about how we tell our story.
And here they come out for the second
Colorado Springs
half.
School District 11 is thrilled to announce the official launch of a new brand identity and messaging system.
Just as our school district stands out in a competitive field, we wanted our brand to stand out against our competitors. Colorado Springs is as much a part of D11 as D11 is a part of Colorado Springs. D11 is Colorado Springs' school district. In our workshops with the local creatives who led the design, we sketched hundreds of D11s. It was critical that we selected the D11 structure and font that would set our brand apart from any other. Teams involved in this process looked at logos from over 130 school districts around the country. Many of the Colorado Springs districts had one thing in common: mountains. We wanted D11 to stand out from the crowd, so it was decided, no mountains. Why the color red? How else could we stand out? School districts around the country use every color you can imagine in their branding. But here in town, we noticed fewer districts using red. Red really makes us stand out from the rest. I learned that there is so much more to determining a brand identity than simply sitting down and creating a logo. There is a lot of psychology that goes into the process behind the scenes. Doing the research, conducting interviews with stakeholders, and understanding what the organization is really all about is so important to the design and message architecture. The final test? Does it look good in print? On a building? On a school bus? On a football field? We think so.
In addition to visual guidelines, the new D11 brand system includes messaging based on research conducted in the community and input from a cross-sectional committee. Thank you to all the students, parents, educators, and district staff who participated in this project and who shaped D11's reputation all day, every day. The D11 story is your story, and we want to tell it well. This is D11, and this is how we inspire every mind.
And welcome back to Gary Barry Stadium. Homecoming night and Military Appreciation Night for the Mitchell Marauders. And the Falcons have come in and been inhospitable guests as they lead 34-0. Tail of the first half, Mitchell 7 possessions, 4 punts, 2 turnovers, 1 missed field goal. Falcon 7 possessions, 5 touchdowns, 1 turnover, and then they had the ball going into halftime. 4 drives have started for Falcon inside Mitchell territory. They had an 86-yard drive that started at their own 14-yard line, and they opened the scoring with Williams going 68 yards after a 62-yard touchdown had been called back due to a holding penalty. As you look at both sidelines and the Mitchell huddle, but Williams able to take the ball for 68 and the opening score with 8:44 to go in the first.
Boy, it must be nice to be young to be able to go down there with short sleeve shirts on a chilly night like this.
And before we forget, Janiyah Scott and Justin Jackson, congratulations to those two Marauders, the queen and king of homecoming. And of course, the homecoming dance should be tomorrow night, and they will lead the royalty at that event. Falcon won the coin toss and elected to defer, putting Mitchell on the field first. So they will start with it here in the second half, and a chance with a touchdown to get a running clock situation on the Marauders. Mitchell had high hopes that this would end a long losing streak on a night like tonight, with all the excitement from homecoming and military appreciation night facing the 1-5 Falcons, but it's just not meant to be. Gallardo with the kick, ranges down inside the 5. 9-iron spin, keeps it in play. And the return here for Favreau. And Favreau all the way back out close to midfield before he is brought down. And Nolan Favreau, the 5'7" junior, with the nice return, call it 45 yards.
He turned to get away from the kicker and got smacked down from the backside defenders coming up to help out. But good starting field position for Falcon as they start the first drive of the second half.
49-yard line is where they will start. Favreau will line up on a slot to the left, receiver to the right. And this is McFarland right up the middle. Now breaks it away a little bit to the right. Brought down over there by Demetrius Bigelow, the 5'10" junior for the Marauders. But he will be ahead for a gain of 6 into Mitchell territory at the 45 and bring up a 2nd and 4 for the Falcons.
Looking down on the Mitchell sideline, looks like they... We'll get back to that in a second.
Bunts under center. This time he'll give it off. And lunging forward, close to the first down, Darius McFarland again with the carry. McFarland just a 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. Good-looking young player, and partner, one of the men in stripes is down and will need some attention. You got your backup uniform in the car, right?
Oh, not even close.
Half.
Not even close. That's the umpire who is shaking it off right now. Looks like he might have got hung up in that pile when they were
having a good laugh about it, saying the knee looks right. He can flex it, so looks like he will stay on the field, getting looked at by both trainers, having a good laugh.
Oh, that's Mike Sharp. He's pretty tough. He's a tough guy. You got to be tough to be an umpire anyway. That is the one position I think I would probably have the least amount of desire to officiate, is the umpire position in a football game. You're right there in the middle of everything. Sometimes that ball goes whistling past your ear. Like on that play, you get a whole lot of folks coming at you.
Ponce with the keeper, the 6'1", 195-pound senior, finding a little room to roam here in the Mitchell backfield, and this is going to be a gain of 10, or back it up to 9. Set the ball at the 33, and a Falcon first down.
And Mike Sharp was right in the middle of the play again, and like a true trooper, he stood right in there and officiated the action. Good job by Mike.
Gain of 5 on the play. Jumbo formation. Give it to McFarland coming to the left-hand side.
Good job by the Mitchell D.
And McFarland fighting for what he can get. K-John Smith finishing it up. Whole host of Marauders making first contact. And now we've got a Marauder who is down.
Looks like it's
very slow to get up.
Roman Hawkins looks like. Oh, tried to get up.
And back down. Hawkins is the left guard. Now gets up and walking gingerly towards the sideline, but at least he's under his own power.
Might be a groin injury. The trainer's having a smile with him. He's smiling also, so hopefully nothing too serious there. I'm not a lip reader, and maybe it's a good thing I'm not.
Joking with one of his teammates. Gain of 1 on the play. Bring up 2nd and 9 here. Just underway in the second half from Gary Berry Stadium. Barry Reed, Walter Johnson, the District 11 media production staff. Thanking you for the tune in. For those who are watching on the 3 TV options and or the social media options, YouTube and Facebook, this is Williams around the right-hand side with a whole pack of blockers, and Williams will make it down inside the 20-yard line, just shy of the 19.
That burst of speed we talked about in the first half right there. And
another first down for the Falcons.
You got to be impressed with this Falcon offense tonight. I didn't think they would be able to generate this much offense tonight, which is why I thought we would have a pretty competitive game, because I thought Mitchell would be able to mount a little more offense than they've been able to tonight. But give Falcon a lot of credit. They came out here and were focused and got up early, and once you get up early, it's easier to play.
Francisco Ponce under center. Fake the handoff, keeper around the right-hand side. He'll be inside the 10. No, they'll mark him just outside the 10 after he gets spun around. It'll be a gain of 8, bring up 2nd and 2. Now they'll move the ball just inside the 10.
No, just outside. You right. Let's do a 2nd down the yard for the
Falcon huddling over by their coach on the sideline while the ball was being spotted. Just outside the 10, 2nd and 1 for the Falcons.
Running play. Didn't take long to call that play.
Jumbo formation to the right. Give it to McFarland off the right. McFarland through the hole and into the end zone. Touchdown number 2 for McFarland. And this one comes in from 10 yards. The other score was from a yard.
And that score will put us into a running clock situation, partner. 40-0 right now.
40-0 pending the Beatty extra point.
Did not see this coming, to be honest with you.
I looked at the records and I looked at the common opposition, and I saw a closer game.
I did too.
With maybe Falcon eking it out.
Yeah.
To be truthful, but I also thought it was one that Mitchell could steal.
I did too. I can't tell you how shocked I am right now that Falcon has been able to do what they've done, because Mitchell has played decently all year long, and I didn't think Falcon was strong enough to do to Mitchell what I would expect a stronger team to be able to do.
The Beatty kick makes it 41-0 in favor of Falcon. As the Marauders will get it for the first time here in the second half. Now it's just a matter of what adjustments were made at halftime to get some of this offense going, or to continue to work on some things that they had success at last week. For Falcon after tonight, it's number 1 Canyon City, and that will be out in Falcon as the Tigers will make the trip up. For the Marauders, they will travel out to the Eastern Plains and take on Sand Creek next week. Sand Creek number 29, so a team that's very equal to Mitchell, although Sand Creek 2-4 on the year coming into the action tonight.
Well, one of our old Flames buddies, James Everett's coaching out there at Sand Creek now.
This kick is going to be high and short, fielded by Trujillo at the 21. Patiently waits for a little room to run, and he'll take it out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So a return of 12 for Dominic Trujillo. And Mitchell will start at its own 33-yard line.
And now you start working on next week's game plan if you're the Marauders. If you're being a realist, you know that this one's a little bit out of reach at this point with a running clock. 6 minutes to go.
2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. The ball on the keep comes to Cruz Garcia. And Garcia will come to the right for a gain of 2, bringing up 2nd and 8.
Well, if I was in that Mitchell coaching staff, the one thing I would tell Garcia, stop looking so much for the defender and get upfield. I thought he looked too much for the defenders on that play instead of getting upfield.
Garcia, the third man to carry out of the backfield, following Sanchez and Ford. 2 receivers. This is a keeper by Davenport. Had a little seam to the outside that time, tucked it back into the middle. Don't understand that decision much.
Because I think Osborne, our friend Osborne, I think was sitting there waiting on him. No, it wasn't him. I thought it was Osborne. I'm sorry.
So call it a gain of 1. Make it 3rd and 7 for the Marauders. And comparing size-wise, Falcon definitely has a size advantage on the Marauders here, down in the trenches, which is shown all night long.
Yeah, they got a few guys who put away a few cheeseburgers, that's for sure.
3rd and 7, shotgun formation now for Davenport. Davenport back looking out into the flats. Good coverage, knocked down Trujillo, the intended receiver. And out there in the coverage for the Falcons was Renjanitter. That brings up 4th and 7. Punting unit coming on for the Marauders.
He threw that ball a little bit behind him too, partner, and that's one of the other reasons why that play was able to be defended so well.
4:10 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. 41-0 Falcon. We have a running clock here in week 7 from Garry Berry Stadium. Fake punt for the Marauders and just shy of the first down. They needed the 43. They got to the 41.5.
Oh, he's hurt too.
And down, I think that is Kajon Smith.
Yeah, he's not getting up either.
The linebacker and center for this Marauders team. Very slow to get up. So Falcon will take over 1st and 10 at the Mitchell 41 after the fake punt.
Let's see, I didn't see anything on the initial tackle that would put him in distress, but he certainly is having a difficult time getting up to his feet now.
Kajon Smith, one of those names we have called for several years.
Corey Anderson
for the Marauders. Smith up and walking off on his own, being greeted by a handful of his teammates.
There's something in the rib area. Looks like he's trying to massage that rib area, looks like.
We will keep an eye out. Falcons come out back in the eye. New running back in there for Falcon, and that is Josiah Sander 5'7", 145-pound sophomore. And Sander ahead for a gain of 5 down to the 36-yard line.
Clock was not running, and now we've got it running.
Second and 5. New quarterback in for Falcon as well as Cameron Robinette, the 5'10", 140-pound sophomore. And his pass is a little bit tall. Out there intended for Jamal Adams, the 5'10", 150-pound senior.
Now you may
bring up 3rd and 5.
You may wonder why is Falcon passing the football right now, up 41-0. This is the backup quarterback. You have got to get him ready to play just in case. So you've got to open up the playbook a little bit for him, and let's get him on tape so he can see some of the mistakes that he makes and see how much he could correct those.
Robinette, this is not his first action on the year. Delayed handoff, and the first man through, the fullback stopped. Little gain for Shane Maniak, the junior. Bring up 4th and we'll call it a long 4. It's not quite 5. You can see the sticks on the far sideline. They need the 31, the ball just outside the 35. And they'll go for it here. Mitchell loading the box, showing blitz. Second man through, spinning his way forward, enough for the first down. Down to the 29-yard line.
Second effort.
Great second effort there by Josiah Sander.
Because he was stopped on the first effort and was able to spin out of that and get upfield.
And the Falcon assault continues here with the backups on the field. Delayed handoff and nothing going, a gain of 1. Good tackle by the inside of that Marauders defense. That is K-John Smith, who was slow getting off the field a little bit ago. The inside linebacker, the senior, back on the field, holding that to a gain of 1.
When you're young, those little dings, they don't stay around as long as when you're a fossil like me.
Shane Maniak in at the fullback. And this will be a keeper by Robinette. And flag late on the play. Robinette gets inside the 20 down to the 18, it looks like.
I'm probably thinking face mask on this one, partner.
I think that was a preliminary signal I got from one of the officials.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 3. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Half the distance to the goal. First down for the Falcons. Probably the last play. They probably won't run a play now. It's 20 seconds left.
There's 2 seconds. The game clock is 2 seconds ahead of the play clock. So the teams will, or at least the Falcons will head to this huddle to talk to Coach Chris Waka and plan what they're going to do here as we get ready to open the 4th quarter. And they will have a 1st and goal situation. There is the horn for the end of the 3rd quarter, so we will switch ends. And Falcon will take it north to south here, looking for more with the backups. They lead 41-0 here at Garry Berry Stadium.
One of those, you're at the point of the game now where you health is a consideration. You want to get everybody healthy, but you want to also get some learning and teaching in. So we'll see how the Marauders will handle this 4th quarter. And also how the Falcons will handle this 4th quarter for that matter.
I'm seeing a lot of starting numbers making their way back on the field for the Marauders.
I don't think they have enough depth to bring in a lot of players, to be honest with you. that they would be comfortable playing at this point in their careers. I think a lot of those guys are youngsters that they're trying to get ready to play.
Quentin Elmore, the nose tackle, hobbling as he was making his way. Straight up the middle, give inside the 5-yard line down to the 4. Just simple power football right now.
That's it.
For Falcon.
That's it. And it's the right thing to do at this point too, is just to go to your running game, and if they can stop you, they stop you. If they don't, you get your put your points on the board and move on.
Into the backfield now, Jacob Nelms, the freshman, with the previous carry. Give it to him again, and the freshman bowls his way down towards the 1-yard line. They will spot it there, and it will be 3rd and goal for the Falcons from the 1.
Yeah, give it to him again. He was in middle school last year. Let him get his first varsity touchdown.
Approaching 11 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. 41-0 Falcon, and they're looking to add more.
Good defense.
Great penetration by the Marauders. Christian Zamora getting in and, tripping up Nelms.
Lost 2. And I still think you throw the football. Run the football. You don't want to throw it, obviously.
Well, if you don't make it here on 4th and goal from the 3, your defense has got a lot of grass behind them.
Yeah.
And Mitchell's got a long way to go to hit anything to keep the shutout at bay. Robinette under center, give it to Nelms. Nelms loses the ball, falling on it one of the offensive linemen. Heads up play by Jason Lansing, the 6'3" junior. And on the fumble, Mitchell will take over at the 6-yard line.
I'm seeing a couple of tall little trees out there. Basketball coach Mark Wiley might have a few basketball players playing football out here tonight. Falcon basketball coach Mark Wiley, I should say.
Mitchell fans still into it on Military Appreciation and Homecoming night at Garry Berry Stadium. They're going to set the ball at the 7, not the 6. Mitchell will start from there. Change at quarterback for Mitchell. Or no, it is still this give off to Sanchez. Sanchez breaks a couple tackles and runs out to the 25-yard line. So a gain of 18. Davenport still in the ball game, gives the ball off to Sanchez.
Good tough running.
And I'm still seeing some starters on that Falcon defense now. So that's not a run against the backups, at least not a full squad of the backups.
Right.
Chris Walker doing some substitution in there, but there's a lot of that first-team defense still on the field.
Well, the defenses get real particular about letting you score. They don't like it.
Davenport reverses his field, breaks a tackle, going to pick up a face mask, and that will move the ball from the 30 where he was tackled out across the 40 and a first down for the Marauders.
Dropped in the backfield, penalty marker on the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 51. 15-yard penalty results in a first down.
Kai Ambrose will have one that he'd like to have back after a really good night to set the tone early in this game with a couple of big stops. Face mask penalty will put the ball out to the 45-yard line. 15 yards, give a first down to the Marauders. Shotgun for Davenport. Forward across the formation, throwing it deep for Trujillo. And good coverage downfield. And that is Favreau, Nolan Favreau, the 5'7" junior, in coverage on Trujillo. Favreau in, I believe, for Bradley Ross, who is called for a couple of penalties. Davenport with the keeper around the right, now brings it to the left, has a blocker out in front.
Set up a block.
Down the sideline and out at the 38-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. Run of 17 on the play. And Macy Davenport the second, smallish at the program says 5'4". Coach says he's closer to 5'6", but he can get lost amongst the tall ones in there. And good little scamper.
Okay, I'm going with 5'4". Programs have a tendency to, let's say, inflate weight and height.
2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Read option, keeper for Davenport. And he is going to be smothered, but he'll get across the 35 for a gain of 3. With the tackle, Jonathan Lozano, the 6'2", 260-pound sophomore. Third and 7, or check that, 2nd and 7. High snap gathered in, give it to Ford. Ford running off the right side, now doubles back to the left. He'll be down to the 23, late flag on the play. It'll be enough for a first down, but we will wait for the indication on the flag.
Result of the play is a first down. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 77 offense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Mitchell, actually.
Personal foul after the play, so the gain was 12. The penalty will mark it back. And since it was post-possession, it will be a first down. Ball at the 37-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Ford, same play right up the middle, and he breaks it. Could this end the shutout? And it does. Unable to catch up to Ford, Marcus Ford. This one goes for 38 yards and the touchdown. And with 4:15 left to go in the game, Marcus Ford takes it 37 yards for the touchdown.
First thing I do when I see a run like that is look around for laundry. Didn't see any, and the Marauders are on the scoreboard.
So we have seen Marcus Ford do what we expected him to do a little more frequently tonight. Now Gallardo on for the extra point, and there you see Ford getting a celebratory slap, and the Marauder Fox on the sideline by the cheerleaders. And Gallardo's extra point is up and good. So the good news, the Marauders avoid the shutout. It'll still go in the last column, but they will avoid the shutout.
Well, you build some momentum for next week, too. I think you said they got Sand Creek, right? Up in Sand Creek.
Mitchell will travel to Sand Creek, and Falcon will host Canyon City.
And we'll be here next week for those Doherty Spartans.
And the Legend Titans in a 5A Southern battle. 5:26 and counting here in the fourth quarter.
2:53.
Okay, 2:49. My apologies. I'm looking at a reflection and everything is backwards, and my eyes were looking forward.
There's a Wasson joke I could use right now, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, see, we had straightforward education. It wasn't any of this reflection stuff.
Oh,
so
there
that's
it
what
is.
tripped me up. Yeah, let's not bring up your East Coast math.
Oh, there you go. Come on. That's something we will not discuss. I tell kids in school, the running joke is, I'll help you with anything except math.
Now Mitchell having some trouble on the special teams. Change over a few players. See if they go with an onside kick here with 2 minutes on the clock.
Might as well practice.
And they do.
And almost got it.
Popped up and gathered in nicely at the 45.
You might as well practice everything you can at this point. 1:44 left. And
Jacob Nelms, the 5'9" freshman in there. He's carried the ball, got good hands. We've seen that on his carries. And he's able to secure it. And Falcon will start at the 45-yard line.
And I'm thinking Falcon's going to run the ball up the middle 3 times and get out of here. Take all the time on the clock and then just get out of town.
And now that there are the big countdown clocks, play clocks down in the end zone, the quarterback doesn't have to necessarily watch the back judge count him down to run all the clock. A definite advantage.
Victory formation. They better snap it. Better snap it.
And they did not get it off in time. That'll cost them 5. That is Robinette in at quarterback.
I have no idea what they were looking at because the clock's right in front of them. They could see it like we could.
Well, it's not like a 5-yard penalty is going to hurt them.
Yeah, that's true too. And they're back in victory.
They'll be able to run this down to 6 seconds. So this snap and one more.
I think that's it. Nope,
they
you're
have
right.
it.
You're right.
So loss of 1 on the kneel down. And they just reset the play clock.
Yep, that's it.
And the officials hold the ball up, and that is going to do it. Counting down the last 15 seconds here on homecoming night. The Marauders, not much to cheer about, but the fans can cheer about avoiding the shutout as Ford scores late to make it 41-7. The Falcons move to 2-5 overall. The Marauders fall to 1-6. Both are 1-1. And chasing Harrison, who is facing Canyon City tonight in league play. So on to next week. We will see you for Legend and Doherty. The Marauders again travel to Sand Creek, and the Falcons will host Canyon City. Good luck to both of these teams the rest of the way. We will see you next week. For my partner, Walt Johnson, the rest of the media production staff, I am Barry Reed. Have a great weekend, everybody. Catch the replays as many times as you'd like. And remember to like the District 11 Facebook and YouTube pages. Thank you so much for the tune-in. Have a great night.